Rough, I want being a representing a man for Uptown TV. You understand?
Before me forget, because I don't want nobody curse me, We had a very hectic. Last week was very hectic for me. We went to Florida, Miramar to collect a award. Rebel, one yellow tone rebel, Jody Moat. Wonderful gathering, well presented. So I yell up the vice mayor of Miramar. And we can say that the Jamaican them colonize Florida. Like how them colonize Brooklyn and Bronx and Queens. Colonization in reverse, Miss Lou call it. Why yell up there? All of the ones them were in the immigration area, customs area, we come from Jamaica. We just make me just go through. Take me out a long line and all of you there. We give thanks for that, Yeah, take me out a long line. But the motor, come man. Can me go real road straight. It sweet me. Believe you me, it sweet me. But why heal up the lady where check me on when I come down the first time. Yeah, she was really nice to me. Give thanks. Then say the argument about the Bob Marley movie come up right at the desk. And people that they are wait for check on. And we was engaged in argument about the movie. But why heal up the brethren who drive me around, well, two brethren drive me around, why you up, hey, believe you me, Florida not easy, Hey, say, for them the street them, I know them set the thing them, it's like it well put together, like the grass well cut, the tree them in a line. The street, not even like a bump upon the street, especially in Miramar there where it come like so there's a white people go really end them life of work. So them retire. It look like a retirement area where them just go sit down there and retire. May I tell you man, everything set out, no little ruffle, lawn well cut, edging well cut and all them some there. But why heal up the people them who recognize the work what we are doing and say, boy, them appreciate it. And I tell them, say, I'm not going to remember them name, them don't believe me, I forget them name, but why heal them up, why heal up the ones them who, when we are come back at Jamaica, we heal so many people inside of the customs area there and stop and take so much picture of the customs area there that after a while it start to get ridiculous. Because I don't know, people now have a camera craze. When you allow somebody to take a picture, you don't know which part the other one them are come from. I tell you, why you up there? The ones them in the Jamaican immigration area, but I have a complaint about the immigration area there, Them institute something where you must pull up a form in your phone before you come. That means, if you know you're going to travel tomorrow, you pull up the form all tonight from America there. Instead of you have the paper form, you do it on your computer. The problem with that, I don't know if it's to save time or it's for the government to keep a tab on you. Because I think they recognize that the paper thing kind of not steady. So them institutionalize this thing where you have to pull up it and go through your computer. And go through them computer. Well, you see when you have 200 people that come off a plane and I come through and like say 50 of them have the farm full up in them phone, and the other 100 that had not have the farm full up, is a problem. It's a big, big problem. I don't know how they're going to rectify that problem there, because it's not everybody computer savvy. If you say, well, boy, right now, they're going to full up the farm. How would people have to get somebody to full up the farm in a them computer for them, in a them phone? So that cause a gridlock from the plane door come right round to the immigration. And granted, say you don't have the long line in the the immigration again. But you have the long line before you reach immigration, where everybody have to full up them farm. The problem is, you know, if you have big finger like all me, you know, and you have press certain letter upon the computer, on your phone, the one where they're near, sometimes you have press, you know, and the one where, like, you know, them have like certain letter in here, certain letter you want to press E, and you end up and press all the R, and then you feel so you press the right thing, you know. And then when you're done, you realize, no, you never press the right. It's E, it's R, you go press. You have to go back through the whole thing and find out which part the mistake there and start over, you know. You know what people, you know what people stand up there when all people take their luggage and gone outside. One of the time, me was one of them. Me was one of them. Where, and then them have some lady there, they help you still. Because after you don't make all 4 or 5 mistakes, you say, you can't bother. You have to go to one of them and them do it. But I don't know if it make sense. I mean, it makes sense to the government to keep a tab for you through the computer and have a database. But in terms of giving you the paper, make you just full it up. Them used to give it on the plane and say you full out the farm before you reach immigration. Them no bother with no paper thing again. No paper trail them I work with. You know. Them I work with cell phone, computer. You pull up that and you go through. And the same thing with immigration in America. First time when you go through there, you used to have paper, then have no paper again. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it's a me, I don't know, well, I couldn't me know, but what them do is, you go through reach immigration, them just tell you to start, put your face in front of the camera, click, and the man will check the passport. Because when them don't look for me, I'm going to come forward. I'm going to come forward. The immigration woman will usually go, we take the farm, and it go to the immigration personnel, so the custom officer, where always I check your luggage. So, why is it easier that we're there? If you don't know, and if you don't really savvy as it come on to your phone, sometimes it have you stand up out there very long. I try to fill up this farm. I remember the first time I experienced it was St. Lucia last year. I never know so that I go on. I did ask my farm and the woman say, the computer over there, so just scan the barcode there, so, and fill it up. Trust me, and me last come out of the immigration area. Because every time me put in that thing, it not full up right. You know, the woman end up and give me back the farm for full out, you know. Me I said, then, a farm me used to, you know, me still get used to the pressing the phone and do the thing right. But I find say a whole heap of people come out of the plane and get stuck. Yes, them just stand up out there and try to full out the farm in a them phone. Suppose your phone dead. Suppose your phone dead. You start. I suppose you full it up on your phone and then when you reach over here, your phone don't have no juice tonight. It's a weird thing, but that's why it go. And that's why it go, and we can't fight it. Trust me. If you can't change it, nobody try to fight it. Because that's why it go, and that's why it there. You understand? So, we never do cutting it last week. Why, you know, Shana would do cutting it last week.
Kabu.
When me ask that for, should I don't say that no, but sometime I will remember do it, but why you love Cabo for still on far away again, yes? So you know, so come back Thursday. morning, and we do the stepping razor. Thursday and then Friday, we want to heal up the student them from church, teachers, college, and the teacher them. Them put we in our church for talk to about 200 trainee teacher. That was Friday. Thursday we do the stepping razor. Friday we go to Mandeville. And we talk to the student them, very responsive student them who want to heal them up. The new teachers them we will go out there. For come teach the children them want to talk about Marcus Garvey philosophy. And then Thursday, that was Friday. And then Saturday, we gone to Florida again. I tell you them about a whole week of reggae month celebration in Florida. And Black History Month. And we want to heal up Ian from Inner Circle, who hosts for the first time in that park there. And we want to heal up Warrior King and his wife. We want to heal up Warrior King. And me say Iba Mar, a long time I don't say Iba Mar. Iba Mar look like in Ghana foreign go live. So we want to heal up Iba Mar. And we want to heal up Pablo Black. Oh gosh, man, when I see Pablo Black, man, I say, yes. I'm a brethren from 12 tribe, from them time there. You know, Pablo Black is a man who good with all the steel pan vibes there, you know. Yes. So we want to heal up Pablo Black. And where were there? Saturday? Yes, we do the thing there with African organization who feature the works. And I want you know all the people that I say I don't remember the name of the people, them are too much people for name I remember. But I want you know all of the ones them who turn out Sunday night. Yes, Sunday night. And then you know so we come forward again. And we're there with you Wednesday night. Very hectic week, I must say. It was worth it. It was worth it to see all these people who we never see so long. Because a long time we don't really stop at Florida. We usually just in transit in Miami and gone somewhere else. But for actually there, we want to heal up all the ones them, all the cutting edge ones them who say, yeah, the cutting edge, I feel them breakfast that. On the YouTube. So we give thanks. Well, this is Black History Month still. And we want to, you know that, says Black History Month. The Gaza area, I get terrible. Can you imagine the Israeli them push the people them down in the south? Like over 1 million people. And when the people them go down in the south, them a bomb the place still and them push them in another little place now. And now them a say the people them have to move. Cause them have to go bomb the south too. And the place where them a tell them to move going on, it's like from down at Kingston here, not even to come up here so. Not even to come up at Stone Hill so, because from down at Kingston Wharf to up here, to more than 12 miles that, I think. Can you imagine you pack 1 million people in a 12-mile radius place and a drop bomb in the same time? A terrible thing a go on, you know. Terrible thing a go on. You see, I'll bind there now, kind of a softening mouth with certain things. But we want to play this clip, you know, from, it's a very important clip to the whole scheme of the thing and how Russia and China get involved with the whole thing, you know, because, you know, you have BRICS. BRICS is like NATO, but BRICS right now counteract NATO. BRICS is like Russia, China, India, Brazil, and South Africa. But now you have all the Arab, them are going to join it now. Venezuela, all them places there. Them are try diminish America's strength in the world. Why you listen to this clip? Listen.
Welcome to USS Global. Increasingly complex events in the Middle East are playing a major role in shifting global balances. Russia and China's influence in the region and their proximity to Iran, as opposed to the U.S. and Israel's joint Middle East policies, have become crucial to international power dynamics. The recent Israeli army raids and airstrikes in Rafah, the Gaza city bordering Egypt, have drawn global attention to this region. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have been trapped in Rafah as the Egyptian army deployed heavy weapons and tank troops to the Rafah border and set up roadblocks along the border, raising tensions in the region. It was recently reported that the Egyptian army recently deployed various elements of the 4th Armored Division of the 3rd Field Army's 3rd Field Army, consisting of more than 40 M1A1 Abrams and M60A3 Patton main battle tanks, as well as YPR 765 infantry fighting vehicles to the border between Egypt and Palestine. Egypt also deployed military trucks and armored vehicles carrying a large number of missiles to the Rafah border. However, these measures were not enough to prevent Israel from attacking Rafah. After the Israeli airstrike on Rafah the other day, Egypt raised the alert level even higher, and China and Russia issued sharp warnings to Israel. China in particular made sharp statements calling for an immediate ceasefire and halt to the war in the region. China called on Israel to halt its military operation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah as soon as possible, and warned of a serious humanitarian catastrophe if the fighting does not stop. China opposes and condemns actions that harm civilians and violate international law, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said in a statement. Israel should stop its military operations as soon as possible and make efforts to prevent civilian casualties and a more serious humanitarian catastrophe in the Rafah region. This statement from China may amount to an overt threat against Israel, especially given the relations between China and Iran. In particular, the United States' support for Israel and China's growing regional influence may mark an important breaking point in international relations. While shaping the balances in international relations, this situation also increases its impact on the resolution of regional conflicts. In this respect, China's growing influence in the Middle East has the potential to become an important factor in global politics and economics. Israel has not yet responded to the Chinese Foreign Ministry's statement. However, it should be noted that there is already a U.S.-led effort to broker a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. A member of Israel's war cabinet said on Sunday that Israel would launch a ground offensive on the Gaza town of Rafah if hostages held by Hamas are not released by the beginning of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan next month. Benny Gantz promised that the army would facilitate the evacuation of Gazan civilians in coordination with the United States and Egypt to minimize casualties. Israel is under intense pressure, including from some of its closest allies, to cancel the planned attack on Rafah, or at least ensure that civilians are allowed to leave in advance and are sent to safety. The Chinese position on the Israeli and Hamas conflict has become a strategic factor that could affect the balance not only regionally but also globally. China, seen as one of the global leaders, has recently raised expectations about what it will do concretely to address the growing tensions in the Middle East. The U.S. support for Israel has brought Middle Eastern countries closer to China. China, for its part, sees its involvement in the crisis in the region as a crucial opportunity to strengthen its image. China's active role in the Middle East is shaped by its strategies to gain access to the region's energy resources, trade routes, and increase its global influence. China's relations with Israel, Iran, Yemen, and the United States therefore play important roles in realizing these interests. China is investing heavily in Israel's high-tech sectors. Trade relations between the two countries are concentrated in the technology, healthcare, and agriculture sectors. Israel can be seen as a strategic partner for China in the Middle East, where Israel's technological capacity and regional position are critical in supporting China's regional and global interests. However, the alliance between China and Iran could negatively affect relations between Israel and China. Moreover, China's regional strategies are at odds with Israel and the United States, and China's stance towards Israel may harden as this war escalates. Iran is an important part of China's energy security strategy and is one of China's largest suppliers of crude oil. There is strong cooperation between the two countries, especially in the field of energy. China is also playing an important role in mitigating the effects of international sanctions against Iran. China supports Iran's integration into the global system by maintaining economic ties and investing in Iran. The U.S. operations in Yemen are therefore a major security concern for China. The instability in Yemen has had a negative impact on China's energy transportation routes. In particular, the instability in the Red Sea, through which much of China's trade passes, has caused considerable damage to the Chinese economy. But despite all this, China has been trying to project a positive image in the region by cooperating with the international community in the humanitarian crisis and reconstruction efforts in Yemen and providing tacit support to the Houthis. China's Middle East policy also plays an important role in its relations with the United States. Relations between China and the U.S. involve both competition and potential cooperation in their Middle East policies. China can be seen as a counterbalancing force to the U.S. military and political presence in the region. Therefore, China is positioning itself as an alternative to U.S. policies in the Middle East. By adopting a neutral approach to regional conflicts and promoting economic development, China aims to increase its influence in the region. In March 2023, Wang Yi, the former Chinese foreign minister who had just brokered a peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran, stood between his two counterparts and was firmly in control. Wang had every reason to be satisfied. Not only had China done what many thought impossible, but it was the only country that could do it. Or so the argument went. Relations between the two countries had been bad for a long time, but they both trusted China. The U.S. was focused on the security of the Middle East, but China was actually providing it. Wang's unexpected success was another sign of China's growing role in the Middle East. Yet for the last 4 months, the confident Chinese diplomacy of last March has been absent. As the Middle East descends into violence, there is no sign of Chinese mediation and little sign of real Chinese diplomacy, despite more than half a century of support for Gaza, more than a decade of close ties with Israel, and decades of close relations. More importantly, as 3 months of Houthi attacks on Red Sea vessels hit Chinese trade and began to strangle some of China's regional partners, Beijing often seemed unable or unwilling to act diplomatically, militarily, or economically to advance its own broader interests. China likes to present itself as a rising global power and likes to irritate the United States for lagging behind in its global ambitions to secure peace and prosperity. Officials in the Middle East region have contrasted the warmth surrounding Chinese President Xi Jinping's summit in Riyadh in December 2022 with U.S. President Joe Biden's more tense meeting with the Saudi leadership in Jeddah 5 months ago. Saudi officials cited independent Western sources claiming that in the medium term, the region will move away from dictatorship and hegemony and into a phase of geostrategic balance and political justice through developmental Chinese influence. This is exactly the future China wants these states to embrace. Make no mistake, China sees the U.S. as its main strategic challenge, and everything else pales in comparison. What is surprising is how true this is. China's actions and inactions over the last 4 months show that despite decades of investment in the Middle East, Beijing's main regional focus continues to be undermining the U.S. While China has indeed become a regional player in the Middle East, it is still playing a highly self-interested game. The biggest reason for China's interest in the Middle East is energy. China first became a net importer of oil 30 years ago, and for most of the last 2 decades, China has accounted for almost half of the world's oil demand growth. During this period, about half of China's oil imports came from the Middle East. For China, reliance on the Middle East has been a permanent vulnerability. The U.S. has been the dominant security actor in the region for half a century, and many Chinese fear that in times of U.S.-China hostility, the U.S. could cut China off from its key energy supplies. Similarly, the Middle East is home to the Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, and Suez Canal shipping gateways, all vital for global trade. Many Chinese containers traveling to Africa, Europe, and even the east coast of the United States pass through these three routes. The U.S. Navy is currently prepared to protect all these gateways, but it can also block them. China's strategy has been to coexist with the U.S. rather than confront it. And 2, persuade countries in the region to develop Chinese relations alongside the U.S. About 10 years ago, China announced comprehensive strategic partnerships with Algeria and Egypt, and later added Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates to the list. It is no coincidence that last August, Beijing successfully lobbied for the last 4 to join the BRICS bloc, then made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. This accounted for 4/5 of the total expansion. China argues that it aims to deepen its economic ties in the Middle East, boosting trade and development along the way. Middle Eastern countries have welcomed China's growing regional role. This is partly because China has freed them from Western liberalization pressures, and partly because China has given them an economic partner that values speed over strict regulatory certainty. They also see China as a rising global power, and after more than a decade of U.S. presidents declaring that Washington's core interests lie in Asia, it seems reckless for Middle Eastern states to fail to build a solid relationship with China. China's Middle East policy is also linked to the Belt and Road Initiative. This initiative aims to strengthen China's influence in the region by increasing infrastructure investment in the Middle East and develop trade routes through the Middle East to Europe. So, what do you think about this issue?
Yes, you hear. It's about China and China wielding its influence in that part of the world. And here too, in the Caribbean. The problem with it is that meanwhile everybody was looking on Russia and America, then one was looking for China and America. And now we say the Chinese, the Russians, the Brazilians, and now we say Iran, all of the so-called rogue, all of the rogue countries them is now joining BRICS. And NATO is left in the cold because the amount of things that Europe depend upon and America depend upon, the thing that them depend upon is found in Asia and Africa. That is why China run go there now, go build up this and build up that and build up that. Because them say the importance of the mineral resources there. So, and meanwhile America they try hold on upon it, but the people them now reject the leaders. As we can see in Nigeria, Mali, Algeria, and Tunisia and all these countries in North Africa, we say the Africans them, and we say the South Americans them, reject America. Seriously reject America. The only place America have foothold in as strongly now is some Caribbean island and in Europe. So them in a problem. Now we say America have fight some proxy war all over the place. Them involved in a more war than any other country on the earth. America. Because them say them not fight no war in Ukraine, but it's them a fight the war because right now Ukraine is a big problem because them not get no money. The Congress not send no money quick time enough. Israel still get armed by America with ammunition and guns and rockets and all them something there. And we say in a Venezuela, in a Guyana and all these places, in a Haiti and some regions in Africa, reject America, seriously, I reject America. Seriously. So we have to really check where we're going. This war in Palestine, in the Gaza there, going to have some repercussions where we're not even going to believe, say, that happen. Can we see it start already? Because look at all Yemen now. Yemen is a country where America and Saudi Arabia side together, you know, to devastate Yemen, you know. People dead in Yemen like wow, you know. Some of the poorest people, them, starvation and all them things there, you know, it's caused by the Arab, them, Saudi Arabia and America, a bomb Yemen. And now we see the Yemenite, them and say, look here, no ship, we are going to Israel. We are going to love to pass through the strait there, so for go up now the Red Sea there, for go up Israel there. Them have fire rocket at them like wow. Them no care a which ship. From them to say, yeah, go to Israel. Them have fire rocket and America, they don't know how to try to protect the ship them. But the man them start fire rocket at the American ship them now that America go bomb up some place down in Yemen there. And the government, the federal government has say, we never authorize America for go bomb nowhere in Yemen. So Biden have do that. Not to mention he must send ammunition. Them just veto our next declaration against Israel. Them just veto it. And as a matter of fact, I think them and England is the only two countries where veto the thing about ceasefire. Because them are claim to them have them own thing a go on to get a ceasefire going. But meanwhile, them have said that, them still are send ammunition into Israel. Still are send ammunition into Israel. And it's a weird thing. Meanwhile, we are talking about that. It look like Ziggy Marley in a problem. Yeah, Ziggy Marley in a problem because a couple of years ago, him do a festival. Him do a festival for them says for the Israeli army. And them, him and some other artists come together and do this festival and get, out of the festival, them get $60 million to contribute to the Israeli army, IDF. And now we see them have him on a show in New Zealand. And them have a petition against Ziggy to take him off of the festival because of him alliance with this company that was doing concert to give the Israeli army. And you know, say right now it's a big thing. It's a big thing for really anybody that support the IDF, Israeli Defense Force, when them have got so much wickedness in the country in Gaza. So we don't know how that will pan out with Ziggy, because the people them other man against him. And this was before the war started too. This concert was done before the war started. You know, so we're going to see how that will work out. So, we're going to continue the journey, you know. We're going to continue the journey. This is, we want to play a clip by Farrakhan. We played years ago on the Stepping Razor about America involvement in the overthrow of legitimate governments in the world. I have a clip there about it where them just make a new one about America involvement in the overthrow of legitimate governments. because it don't toe for them line. But I'm going to play the Farrakhan one because the Farrakhan one more, you know, it have more things in it to listen to. You know, it have more things. So I'm going to play that. But meanwhile, I can play this and find that. Only the dumb envy the talkative. Only the dumb envy the talkative. So suppose I did quiet. Would you accuse me of causing a riot? Because, you know, revolution mean change, you know. People afraid of the word revolution. It just means change. And there's so much things that black people need for change. Yes. So much people get connected to white people's thoughts and thinking and logics and religion and cultural expression. Them clothes, them food, all these things grab black people. We need a revolution. Marcus Garvey said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And not because you don't see no chain around your foot. You feel, say, me I'm not a slave. You know, see, me can't do what I want to do. You do what them want you to do. That is what you do what them want you to do. And right now, we see most black people get caught in that. Doing what they want you to do. Walking around like zombies. You don't know if you're going or coming. Keep doing the same thing the same way and expect to get a different result. And we know no logic's not going away there. So, Black History Month still there with we. And we are just a play our part. Not keeping quiet at all. No way, Jose. We're not keeping quiet. We're going to continue with the cutting edge and the stepping razor as long as them want we to do it, tolerate if we do it, we'll continue to do it. So we just tell you that because we know a whole heap of madness out there where keep the people, you get you distracted, it's like you can't focus. We can't focus. And the thing they were supposed to focus on, we not do that. So you need something for jolt you. For jolt you. And sometimes the only thing we can jolt you is the power of the word. Because the word sound must bring forth a certain power. The first word that was said in earth, still a travel, it not stop. The first word where somebody say, from them time there until now, it not stop travel. So you must know that this is the cutting edge and I burn it of blood, make it run. Yes. Don't trust a politician to grant you no favor. Because they will always want to control you forever. You know that from history in Jamaica political history show you that. From them do you a favor, man. They want to control you. And now we see them a control Monday. Some little simple election, but the people them who follow the party, them take it serious. So Monday's a holiday, you know. Monday's a holiday. Yes, it's not a holiday that is designated on the calendar, but it's a holiday because everybody will want time. Those of us who going to vote will want time to go and vote. And those who don't vote will be glad not to go to work or say them go and go vote. That is how it go. It's a terrible thing. Terrible thing. And we have to live with it. Because Monday night, you're going to hear a whole heap of noise and this and all them things there, because the problem is that the two parties them feel so one of them are going to win. PNP feel so them are going to win and GLP feel so them are going to win. One are going to lose. That is the problem. One going to lose. Because so it go all the while. All the while. We're going to take a break and come forward. So let's have something to play about the involvement of America in other people's business and how America topple a lot of legitimately, democratically elected governments. And why them do it is because the government is not touring for them line. So if you're not touring for them line, them get you out by coups. Here people talk about Africa and how people get cooled in Africa. Well, America is well known for going to people's country and use a next man to get out the man where them don't want. You see, we're good for the goose, not good for the gander, and that is where them deal with. So here we go now.
There are presidential records that record the doings of every president. Some of it is secret and some of it is open, but everything is recorded. When the Congress was set up, everything that they said and did, every law that was made, every amendment to the Constitution that was drafted, all of it is in a record. The doings of the Supreme Court are recorded. The doings of each committee that is a part of government, and above all, each department of government has its own record. So today, in this broadcast, we want to open up the record of the atrocious foreign policies of our government. Now, beloved brothers and sisters, foreign policy is something that the American people know very little about. When foreign governments come, especially after 9/11, Middle Eastern countries came and donated money. And one Islamic leader came and donated $10 million to the city of New York. But he said in his donation that he hoped that America would change her foreign policy. Mayor Giuliani sent back to him his $10 million, but all over the earth, wherever I have traveled, wherever people dislike America, it's not the American people necessarily that the people of the earth are angry with or burdened by. It is the foreign policy of the government of the United States. So, a lot of enemies that America makes, they make them for the American people. So the American people would like to know, why is it that we are hated in the world? Because America's view of herself is that we are a good nation. And by and large, if the people knew better, most of them would do better. But at the top of things, you have a satanic, demonic mind that is the architect of America's foreign policy. This foreign policy has objectives, and this foreign policy has national interests. But the American people don't know necessarily what those interests are, and they don't necessarily know what the foreign policy objective of their government is toward the nations and people of the earth. Now, how you treat the ethnic groups, the racial groups within America, is how you will treat those that come from other nations to be made Americans. So if our government does not have a good domestic policy toward Mexican people, how will they have a good policy toward the Mexican nation? If they don't have a good domestic policy toward Cubans or Haitians or Guatemalans or Hondurans or Jamaicans or Barbadians or Africans in America and in the diaspora, how could America's policies be good for them if they're not good for those who live within the borders of what is called the United States of America? The Chinese, the Koreans, all of those from Southeast Asia, even Europeans have tasted of the meddling of America in the affairs of their nations. So without further delay, I would like to read to you a partial list of the United States covert actions abroad to impose or restore favorable political conditions from 1946 to 1983. This list was prepared by Tom Gervasi of the Center for Military Research and Analysis in 1984, and it was compiled using information available in the public domain. We will also quote from a 1984 edition of Harper's Magazine. It starts in 1946 in Greece. Now, Greece, as you know, is in Europe. The Americans wanted to restore the monarch after the overthrow of the Metaxas government. And through the efforts of our government, our CIA or those clandestine organizations of the country, the monarch was restored. From 1946 to 1955 in West Germany, an average of $6 million annually was sent to support former Nazi intelligence network of General Reinhard Gehlen, and this was considered successful. From 1948 to 1968 in Italy, an average of $30 million annually in payments to political and labor leaders to support anti-communist candidates in Italian elections. And that was considered successful. Again, in 1949, Greece, military assistance to anti-communist forces in the Greek Civil War. And from America's vantage point, it was successful. Now we're all in Europe. In Poland, financial and military assistance for Polish freedom and independence movement, unsuccessful. In 1950, in Albania, in Europe, the overthrow of government Enver Hoxha, unsuccessful. In 1951 to 1954, in China, airdrop guerrilla teams into the People's Republic of China, unsuccessful. In 1953, in Iran, the overthrow of Mohammad Mossadegh and his government to install Shah Zahedi cost $10 million, successful. In the Philippines, assassination and propaganda campaign to overcome the Haq resistance and install the government of Ramon Magsaysay. It was successful. In Costa Rica, to overthrow the government of Jose Figueres, unsuccessful. In South Vietnam, America installed the government of Ngo Dinh Diem. It was successful. In 1954, in West Germany, America arranged the abduction and discreditation of West German intelligence chief Otto John and replaced him with Reinhard Gehlen, and that was successful. In Guatemala, in Central America, America overthrew the government of Jacobo Arbenz Guzman and replaced him with Carlos Castilla Armas. Successful. Intervention, meddling in the affairs of other nations. In China, they were trying to assassinate Zhou Enlai en route to the Bandung Conference in 1955, and that was unsuccessful. In 1956 in Cuba, they wanted to establish an anti-communist police force, Bureau de Represión Actividades Comunistas, under the Batista regime. And under Batista, it was successful. In Syria, they wanted to overthrow the Ghazi government, aborted by the Israeli invasion of Egypt. 1956 and 1957 in Jordan, in the Middle East, an average of $750,000 annually in personal payments to King Hussein. According to the United States government, payments ceased when this was disclosed in 1976. In Lebanon, in 1957, Lebanon is in the Middle East. Financial assistance for the election of a pro-American candidate to the Lebanese parliament. It was successful. In Cambodia, our government assassinated Prince Norodom Sihanouk. It was unsuccessful, but they attempted his assassination. In Guatemala, military assistance, including the use again of B-26 bombers for the government of Miguel Ydigoras Fuentes to defeat the rebel forces, successful. In Angola, now we're going to Africa, financial and military assistance to the rebel forces of Olden Ruberto. It's inconclusive how that turned out. But in Laos, in Southeast Asia again, military assistance including 400 United States Special Forces troops to deny the plain of Ja's Bad Mekong Basin to the Pathet Lao. Inconclusive. In Cuba, from 1961 to 1963, our government attempted to assassinate Fidel Castro, and there were 6 attempts from 61 to 63. All of them were unsuccessful. In 1961, Cuba, America trained and supported the invasion force of Cuban exiles to overthrow the Castro government and assist their invasion at the Bay of Pigs at a cost of $62 million taxpayer dollars, unsuccessful. In the Congo, precipitate the conditions leading to the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, successful. In the Dominican Republic, precipitate conditions leading to the assassination of Rafael Trujillo, successful. In 1961 to 1966, Cuba, broad sabotage program, including terrorist attacks. Listen to the language. Attacks on the American side on coastal targets and bacteriological warfare in order to weaken the Castro government, but that was unsuccessful. 1962 to 1964 in British Guyana in South America, organized labor strikes and riots to overthrow the government of Chedi Jagan. Successful. In 1962 to 1964, in South America, in the government and nation of Brazil, America organized campaigns of labor strikes and propaganda to overthrow the government of Raul Goulart. Successful. Dominican Republic, to overthrow the government of Juan Bosch in a military coup. Successful. In El Salvador, in Central America, organized Orden and Ancestral, domestic intelligence networks under the direction of General Jose Alberto Medrano and Colonel Nicolas Carranza, and provide intelligence support and training in surveillance, interrogation, and assassination techniques. This is all from our government in foreign policy objectives. Let me continue. In Iraq, financial and military assistance for the Freedom Party of Mullah Mustafa al-Barzani in an effort to establish an independent Kurdistan. It was unsuccessful. They wanted to divide Iraq and separate the Kurds from the Sunni and the Shiite. Now think about wanting to separate. And we are asking our government as what must be done by you to separate us into a state or territory of our own, because you know you have no future for us but back to your foreign policy. In Chile, $20 million in assistance for Eduardo Frei to defeat Salvador Allende in the Chilean elections. America was successful. In Brazil, Guatemala, Uruguay, and the Dominican Republic provide training. What kind of training? In assassination, in interrogation techniques for police and intelligence personnel. Inconclusive. In the Congo, in Africa, financial and military assistance, including B-26 and T-28 aircraft, and American and exiled Cuban pilots for Joseph Mobutu and Cyril Adula, and later for Moise Tshombe in Katanga province to defeat rebel forces loyal to Lumumba. America was successful. In 1964 to 1967, South Vietnam, Phoenix program to eliminate Viet Cong political infrastructure through more than 20,000 assassinations. Now, I did not write this. This is written by experts who have the files of America's covert actions. Don't turn away from your television. You, the American people, must listen and look, because if you don't, you will be deceived into thinking that America's foreign policy objectives are moral, are ethical. They are anything but that. Let's continue. Now think about this. America sending our special forces troops in other nations to assassinate, to sabotage, to ambush people and missions. This is meddling, creating mischief, and causing the shedding of blood. In Peru, America's money, taxpayer dollars, provided training in assassination and interrogation techniques for Peruvian police and intelligence personnel, similar to the training given in Uruguay, Brazil, and the Dominican Republic in an effort to defeat the resistance movement. This was unsuccessful. In Indonesia, to organize a campaign of propaganda to overthrow the Sukarno government and precipitate conditions leading to the massacre of more than 500,000 members of Indonesian Communist Party in order to eliminate opposition to the new Suharto government imposed on Indonesia by the United States of America. In 1967, in Bolivia, in South America, our government assisted that government in the capture of Ernesto Che Guevara, and they were successful. And as you know, Che Guevara was assassinated in Bolivia. In Greece, the overthrow of the government of George Papandreou and install a military government of Colonel George Papadopoulos after the abdication of King Constantine.
We want to take a break and come forward. You know, this is the time when we say it's 12 o'clock in a Jamaica. So, yes, by Farrakhan, we man name out all the countries them that America go into and create disturbance, kill out the leader and install for them leaders in the country, the coups them and all these things, assassinations that America do to other countries. So we're going to continue.
Abdication of King Constantine. Successful. But is it meddling? Is it interfering in the internal affairs of others? What is the purpose of such a foreign policy? In Chile, South America, campaign of assassinations, propaganda, labor strikes, and demonstrations to overthrow the government of Salvador Allende with a cost of $8,400,000 American taxpayer dollars, and this was successful. In Angola, the military assistance to forces of Olden Ruberto and Jonas Savimbi to defeat the forces of the Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola during the Angola Civil War, and to prevent the MPLA from forming a new government. And America was unsuccessful. In Jamaica, in the Caribbean, a military coup to overthrow the government of Michael Manley, unsuccessful. In 1984, in Angola, financial and military assistance to the forces of Jonas Savimbi to harass and destabilize Neto and succeeding governments, inconclusive. In Jamaica, again in the Caribbean, financial pressure to destabilize the government of Michael Manley and campaign propaganda and demonstrations to defeat his government in elections, and it was successful. We're coming to the end, but this is just not all of the covert operations, just a small amount of them. So, my beloved brothers and sisters, this continues. You can see from this that our government has been involved in foreign policy objectives to preserve and protect national interests. Well, let me go immediately to national interests. I'd like to start with the words of Mr. Perkins, who admitted that he was a member, that he called himself a part of the economic hitman. From the book by John Perkins called Hoodwinked, an American hitman reveals why the world financial markets imploded and what we need to do to remake them. These are quotes from Mr. Perkins. He quotes, "I was an economic hitman, part of an elite corps of modern-day hired guns who promote the interests of big corporations and certain sectors of the United States government. Although we economic hitmen work in many ways, our most common task is to identify countries with resources our corporations covet." Remember the 10 commandments of Moses, the last of the 10. Do not covet your neighbor's house, your neighbor's wife, your neighbor's ox, your neighbor's donkey, anything that belongs to your neighbor, do not covet. But here, our government covets or desires the resources from other nations, and these economic hitmen are sent to identify countries with resources that American corporations covet. Then, he says, we seduce, bribe, and extort their leaders into exploiting their own people, accepting loans the countries can never repay, privatizing their national assets, legalizing the destruction of fragile environments, and finally selling those coveted resources to our corporations at bargain prices. And when the leaders resist, they are overthrown or assassinated by CIA-sponsored jackals. And a jackal is in the wolf or dog family. And these are human beings that feed on carrion or feed on dead things, or these hitmen feed on weak nations. Again, Mr. Perkins, in the Confessions of an Economic Hitman, said, "My job is to encourage world leaders to become part of a vast network that promotes U.S. commercial interests. In the end, those leaders become ensnared in a web of debt that ensures their loyalty. We can draw on them whenever we desire to satisfy our political, economic, or military needs. If an economic hitman is completely successful, the loans are so large that the debtor or the recipient country is forced to default on its payments after a few years. And when this happens, then, like the mafia, we demand our pound of flesh. This often includes one or more of the following: control over United Nations votes. 2, the installation of military bases or access to precious resources such as oil or the Panama Canal. Of course, the debtor still owes us the money, and another country is added to our global empire.
Yes, that is Louis Farrakhan. You mentioned the economic hitman. I want to play the economic hitman, but it's going to go in at the advertisement them, and I don't like the advertisement them cutting on my things, you understand? But very interesting, the amount of country we mentioned there. I want to feel account. The amount of country where America trouble or create problems in her to maintain them power over the country them. I can just play this little part of the economic hitman. Yeah.
I'm a U.S. citizen, born in the United States, raised in the United States. I'm a former economic hitman. We work very much like some of the hitmen for the mafia because we're looking for a favor later. And mafia people have done this, and gangsters have done this for ages. We just do it on a very large level with governments, with countries, huge level. And we're much more professional. We do this in many ways, but perhaps the most common is that economic hitmen will identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil. And then we arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sister organizations. But the money never actually goes to the country. Instead, it goes to our own corporations to build big infrastructure projects in that country. Things that benefit a few very rich people in that country, as well as our own corporations, but don't help the majority of the people who are too poor. But these people, the poor people, are left holding a huge debt, and it's so huge that they can't possibly repay it. But in the process of trying to repay it, they create a situation where they can't afford to have good health programs or educational programs. So we economic hitmen go back in and we say, listen, you owe us a lot of money, you can't pay your debts, so give us a pound of flesh. Sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies, or vote with us on the next critical United Nations vote, or send troops in support of ours to someplace in the world, like Iraq. And in that way, we've really managed to create this empire. Because the fact of the matter is, we write the laws. We control the World Bank. We control the IMF. We even control the United Nations to a large degree. And so we write the laws. So the things economic hitmen are not illegal. Putting countries in huge debt and then demanding favors in return, that's not illegal. It should be. It isn't. The characteristics of an empire is that it enforces its currency on the rest of the world. And we've really won. The United States had a tremendous amount of debt, and a lot of this was a result of the Vietnam War. And we were on the gold standard. So some of these other countries decided to call in their debts in gold because they didn't trust the dollar. And Nixon refused to pay in gold, in fact took us off the gold standard because he knew he couldn't pay in gold. We didn't have the value. And so very quickly after that, we went on the oil standard. And I was a large part of that deal that we struck with Saudi Arabia, insisting that OPEC only sell oil in dollars. And so suddenly the dollar moves from the gold standard to the oil standard, which in many respects is a much more important standard because oil is intrinsically more valuable than gold in this day and age. And so suddenly the world can only buy oil for dollars, and the dollar is a very, very important currency. Today, the United States, once again, is a bankrupt country. We have huge amounts of debt, more debt than any country's ever had in the history of the world before. And if some other country to call that debt in a currency other than the dollar, we'd be in very, very serious trouble. Right now, they're only calling it in dollars because oil is the big commodity, and you can only buy oil in dollars. But Saddam Hussein threatened to sell oil for something other than dollars just before he was taken down.
Part of the Hitman conversation, and Farrakhan never mentioned Gaddafi because him said that when him said that Gaddafi was still alive, but Gaddafi is one of them to where America go in there, go murder him. Yes. Serious thing. What we're going to do? Because we're part of that puppet string. We're buying a whole heap of governments to America. Jamaica is one of the puppet string them, or one of the puppet I should say. Yeah, the time is 15 and a half minutes past 2. Yes, the man they make it go out there. Not talk about reggae music, they make reggae music go out there and help to really scatter it all over the world, man. Yes. This is the Cutting Edge and IRFM. I don't know if it's too late to take call. If they call, don't know if you take it, but I don't know if it's too late to take it.
Yes, I. First from here, I have to talk to the eye.
Yeah, I realize that.
Yeah. I talk about the security issue them, with the security guard them on the island, you know. Over the years, I talk on the I program about the robbery of the security guard them would I get over the years, and we see that kind of pacify a little, you know. And see, you talk to Vincent Morrison.
Yeah, like a while back. Yeah,
earlier, yeah. But Muta, security guard them, and China Union. One of the weirdest thing I see right now in our country, you know, after so much years of fight and struggle, and now the thing drop right in them laps. Nobody know want China Union, especially the younger guard them.
Yeah, that themselves. When some older guard that tell me that too. So yeah, the younger one, them no want join the union.
No want China Union, you know. So, you know, that's the vibes.
Maybe them not get educated enough to find out what the union is good for. You think them know what the union good for?
But as young people, them should have really equip and educate themselves. You know, as younger people, them should have be the one to really up there and take up the mantle. They come here and say, but boy, I don't know. What is a vibe? Because right now, we are saying, for the road to robbery, where them company rob the guard, them should have set up a pension fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pension fund to set up like how the tourism workers, them.
Yeah.
Get a pension fund set up for them. You know, that upon the agenda right now, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if them going to do that, you know.
Well, it has to be done, you know, Muta. It has to be done. Have to be done. You know?
Yeah.
Have to be done. Because that's the final stingle in the thing right now.
Yeah, hold on, I can see if I can take a break and come forward if you want.
I
don't take the break.
That's right, I know, you know. Pension fund need to set up for the security guard them, the island, you know.
Yeah, so you have any ones where you come together with and love the feet?
Well, the union, UK's union, the union where the guard them for just sign up and join, you know. Simple as that, you know. Simple matter, you know. No rocket science, you know.
Yeah.
All them have to do is go for the union and sign up. Mr. Morrison, Sir Vincent Morrison make the appeal and come out in a newspaper article and come on your station and come on the TV station and, you know. Yeah, that's a vibe still, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know where them up to, Bridget. The elder one, them, and some elder one I talk to, them kind of upset. So that I keep back a whole heap of things.
Not upset, man, because over the years we have fight and a struggle and certain things come to light and don't come to fruition. And them because young people, you know, all them want to do is depend on them phone and gallivant and do some like a foolishness, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's set away still, you know?
Set away, yes.
Yeah, you know, but we not give up the fight still, you know?
No, you can't give up.
Victory certain.
Yeah.
So, man,
all right, sir. Give thanks, Beijing.
Yeah, man.
Afternoon. Like how them have Bob Marley. Sound like in the morning was it? Like
you want them play Bonnie and Bob Marley in the morning?
Yeah.
And in the evening. One like how them do the Bob Marley thing.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
I love that donation.
Well, Shane are listening, you know, so Shane down there, so maybe him can suggest it, me don't know.
Yeah, man. We appreciate love that, by the way. So that's so more balance, the great way that them.
Yeah.
And the man great tonight.
Yeah.
Man the man is great, man. You know, them can get some establishment here like Bablet on the radio station too.
Yeah.
It's no harm done to that. That's a more higher balance out.
Yeah, man. I understand what you say. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Great.
All right.
And another thing I say again, you them right now, one side it a go on with them, you know. And, like, I just program you, them head program and all that stuff. There's so much desolation and so much destruction of amongst the youth, them and youth. And when they take all that check, and anything go on, the police them come kill them out and more rise up again. So when you, when I hear this education man, they say, they must start. They must start. You know.
They must start, what? I not hear you.
They must start with Marcus Garvey, treatment in the school.
Okay.
Yeah. If I don't start, I'm not talk still.
Last week, Friday, I go down to one college, a teachers' college. They might train young teachers to talk about the philosophy of Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something I insist and put up on the vice principal and them to introduce it in the school. You know, find the book, the philosophy and opinions, and really recommend it to the student them.
Yeah, man, I Rasta teach man, you know, cause right now, when we say go on earth, you know, the sense of purpose, I just Rastafari tradition, you know, you know. Yeah, cause people might say, boy, Rasta this or Rasta that, or whatever they want to say, but them can stay on the outside. But we and I put the thing and show how the system set right now. I only want we give it total right, seriously, natural things upon earth right now, Rasta, you know. Yeah, so we need to just make them know and realize so watch out Rasta over there all more and those that are going and keep up in that place, you know. So we need to cut it down and realize now and know to watch out. I don't know, no backtrack, I don't know, backward thing, we are the uplift man for each and every one. Who's paper earth right now, because earth need cleanliness and earth need clean people. You know, for corruption and people come and perform, because just get up every day and bathe on the water. So, the water can't wash the corruption, you know. And clean clothes. You have to have a love there in your mind and your thoughts and to keep up to the fullness of life, because that earth need now. That natural powers need for earth. We don't need over corruption and over tatty mouth. And clean clothes. You have to have a love there in your mind and your thoughts and to keep up to the fullness of life, because that earth need now. That natural powers need for earth. We don't need over corruption and over tatty mouth. Them and chat up themselves and when them talk for nothing quarter them now do. Them not have the people that made a boat like a merry-go-round. Boy, them they will come, you know, and feel everything them do about it, them can't get you, you know. Everywhere them do, everything them like them do, and them have to face up to themselves, and them judgment, because them bring out judgment for themselves, you know, only thing that them hold for the innocent people, and get damaged out of it, you know. Boy, it's not forever. All the naturalities stand forever, you know, so don't care all them fantasize things and make it look like shit. Yeah. We know the fantasy of something will come and go, but you can't get carried away by that. You have to realize, no, and stop the foolishness and idiotness and tell some people not to do that, because one fool make many, you know. And if you sensible and you try to fool people, what kind of sense that can be? That's more dangerous things from people in the earth. We not do that. And if one not free, if one free, are not free, you know.
Yeah.
So all
dependent on the one dependent on the all. All right, brethren, give thanks. We have to move.
Blessed love, I.
We have to move, yes. And that me I said to her, yes, sure, you come cut the choo-choo attack.
Yes, I'm not ready there. What's on, brother?
But there, man.
Shut me out. Like a drop asleep and just wake up back.
Oh, you?
Yeah, more time I tell them, man, John, more time I don't know nobody for chat in the youth.
So you want, you know, go sleep then, man, if you don't have nobody for chat to, man?
Eh?
You in your house and look somebody for chat to?
Yes, man, that's reasoning, man. That's my reasoning.
But you're a lonely man.
Eh?
You come like you're a lonely man.
Oh, well, yeah, man, definitely, man, definitely. But I say out the road, man, you don't know where they road and think of a chat to one and anything, man. Man, because the people don't get negative, man.
May I tell you?
When I tell the people, them say, yo, a program is like, them never know what you're saying, no, man. Yeah, program it and man, me say hurt me, man. It's like, we never know if it's stated, me I tell everybody.
Well programmed, brethren, them well programmed, trust me.
Well programmed. Yeah, I say already, I look for all the politics thing again, and I say no to them people, I look like them, I go right back to all the war and the killing one later, man. But I know them like still work with PNP and Labour right all now to the day, man.
Why you think to them would that stop?
Because I would all learn, brethren. Because I would all learn, they would all learn, they would all say, you see me?
Yeah.
You know, that's for me like he's not some, this moment I feel like we're the Rasta, man, the man them program, because the man move like some Christian, man, them a quote from the Bible for everything, and one time I said to the man them, say, yo, I said to the man, say, yo, tell me something. God, stop inspire people, stop inspire, man. And he must say, no. I say, I want to look up here, man. God, stop inspire, man. So I say, yo, I tell you this, man. You say you got no stop inspire, man. You would not work without all the Bible, your Old Testament and your New Testament. Because, yo, man, you see them things that find them time, when some man do them time, them journey and everything, and I say, well, God, say, for who, no say. That's the man, the gone now. We got to inspire, we have to know, yesterday, last year, that we can't say, boy. What time I said to the man, say, yo, well, that's the whole reason with God.
I wonder how you do that.
Eh?
I wonder how you do that.
How me do that?
Oh, you all a reason with God.
No, they ask them.
Yeah, me no, but me I say, I wonder how you that do that.
No, we don't know God to have no reason with brother.
No, that me I say the way I suggest that to the man before.
No, to how them attack, man. You see, to how them attack.
Yeah.
So that's why we got to...
Them call it, yeah.
Yeah.
They call it a rhetorical question, yes. You know the answer, but you just say it still.
Yeah, man. That's question more time I see the youth, them all apart. I mean, they were to go to school and brother, but we learn from the high Cabo. You see me?
Yeah.
That's yo, more time. That's yo, more want to do something for me, you know. So right away, it's like, but I think that's something I look at them thing there. That's a virgin. Go on, check out one book, the philosophy and opinion of Marcus Garvey.
Of course. What them say when you say that?
Well, no for them I say, yeah, Rasta, yes, Rasta, and you know. So I mean, we are £10 man, brethren, because we can't get lost. Because
you must say yes, but they're not going to do it, man. By the time you turn out and go up on the iPhone, go look for how much woman and wind up.
It's sure, you know, but you know, sometimes you go on and wait, that's a go again if it's them and say, well, go and say you find it or them thing then. You know, see. Come here to the powerful word, them with the man, them say, man, and I know, Marcus, I say, man, what a man. We don't need to give it back to ourselves who we really is.
Yeah.
Because if we want to know the greatness from where we are coming from, man, it would have been totally impossible for we are living a shame today.
I tell you, man.
Brethren, it come a way to me, brethren, and I tell you, I can't find a man for reason with the brethren.
It's like Marcus Garvey never born, man.
Sure.
Malcolm X never born, Nani never born, Taki never born, all of them come like they never born.
Yeah, man, Mr. Brethren, even all the rest of them, I tell you, I could look who I know him amongst my cousins. Me say, I did a talk about that thing, you know, where a pastor did I preach to them people, and I said to them, boy, you see a small Christian inside here,
We had disrespect God in the $30 and the $50 offering. I'm just saying, yo. The things that the people them really like could have said, right, well, that we have our trophy.
Yeah, they have to step it up. They have to step it up. They have to step it up, man.
Hallelujah, praise the Lord. You know, say they have effort to actually hold off on the Bible. So you literally say, no, I don't know to poison, you have to take a little sip. And that me I tell the man that the man say, no, my cousin, the man get up. No, I say, I can't have place the man that they are listening. The man get up and the man say, oh, one thing me know, you know. Any man not to him burning offering, you know. God not answer prayer, you know.
Eh? What? And them say, God do? I bribe you, blackmail you.
So I'm the man who can't afford it.
God a blackmail you, man.
Yo, me say the people them there. Me say, I say, yo, man, come on, say, yo, virgin. We God want money for. And yo, man, start telling me things, man, church want this and church want that and that one, that.
Yeah, man, the church, the past ones, we send him people to go to Miami when sick.
Yeah.
When him sick.
Man say, virgin, so happy here, man.
I send for a pass for him car.
Yeah. That's a virgin, man. You can't see in the house where you're born. Anyway, they are the stone and cause you got him not going to answer you. Mr. Virgin, you can't go down at the tree and say, I'm going to tell you, you want hands drop on you and all kind of.
Yeah, old party.
You don't want to be a 1 minute, you know, they not go to.
Yeah. And we're going to move, though.
Eh?
We're going to move, man.
Yeah, man, we're going to do that tomorrow, car. You don't know, car. As me as I say, at them place, I'm going to try to attack and reason and build up.
Of course. Yeah, man, of course. Give thanks, man.
Guidance, you, man, 100%, man. I tell some people say, what man, I hear me, man. You see, we know the thing going on the life, man, but it's all fairly carbo. After our transcend, man, I'll have trillion here, we are going to attack and a call and a reason, man. And attack it, yeah, liquidation, I talk to them, man. Yeah, man, there, man. Still a year again, still now, everything good.
Yeah, man, everything I got through, man.
Taylor, they are string up a machine for you, yeah.
Oh?
Taylor, they are string up a machine.
Oh, yeah, string up the machine. So tell me something. You say, you get enough clothes for a funeral clothes. Are you that about it?
Yeah.
Eh? Well, yeah, you make I go to bed and laugh right there, you know. Because you say, so you make your money now after funeral.
Yeah, because clothes are just we got them place regular.
Clothes have to make for go to funeral now and make good too.
Man, wedding funeral thing.
Yeah.
In tune, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you are make such good business, you can just imagine the undertaker them and the mark them.
Oh, yeah.
And the man who make coffin, how much money he make.
Yeah, man, then a proof man said I go on to you.
Yeah, man.
You see coffin a roll out and my competition around video, you know.
Yeah.
That's we are see it still, you know.
Yeah, man, give thanks still.
But they have a positive match still more time and tune into the thing, you know.
Yeah, all right, sir, give thanks.
But sometimes we can't do still in the mood, we never know where we head there, you know, because so much things we put here too. And you have to pick the right one. I never know which one is the right one fully, but you have to do depending on the one that makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah, of course, the one that makes sense to you. You have to look at this, you know.
Yeah, the one that makes you feel like a little boy, I eat this to you.
Yeah.
You, not for your next man, you know, but for you.
To you, of course.
And you can wrong too, but
what you mean?
At least you're comfortable with the settings.
Watch out, man, let me tell you something, man. Doubt is a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
Because here doubt allow you to do now. Doubt allow you figure out if what you doubt about is true.
Yeah.
So you go examine things, you know, because of doubt. So don't throw away and say why you doubt this or why you doubt it. Doubt make you go explore, make you go investigate, make you go search. Yes.
True. The search.
Yeah, man. So don't feel like you doubt you do something wrong. It's going to elevate you in the end. It's going to elevate you, just doubt. Because every day you doubt, you know.
Yeah,
man, you doubt about something. But You make when you go find out about something where you doubt about and you realize about it. You know, so when I think was true, it make you feel powerful, man.
Yes.
Make you feel powerful, yeah.
And make you feel like say yes, you did it on the right track for a long time.
Of course, yes.
So you really convince yourself from morning.
And if you're wrong, it makes you go search for something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah, you examine something else.
No. Yes, you're right then, you know, that you know.
Yes.
And you're stronger in a way I would do again. You
of course.
Feel, you know. And I feel, you're kind of stronger.
No feel like I can't feel. I can't feel at all.
No. But me ask you a key still. Me still sometimes want to make a reason, but sometimes I'm scared to make the reason because sometimes people take away and judge it the wrong, say I deal with it the wrong way. But when I say still, the Rasta thing and the church thing, you know, to me, it coming like say it was true. Just true, like say Rasta now and church thing now. It coming like say boy, yeah, deal with a whole of a different part of Rasta. If you see the world, I'm better. If everybody that see church people as one and then see Rasta as one. So if we say Rasta, we say Rasta. And if I say one God, you say one God in a church. But you have to find God in a 70 in a Jehovah Witness. You have to find God in a church of God and then something. They say come like them everybody a teach for them way. So like the Rasta thing again, you just alright then a bubble thing and the thing and then a bubble man I was still I was tell us boy really. So it left you confused, you know.
No, well you know, you have to know say you can't make things confusing, you know.
Yeah.
Because you can't go through a bubble say that over there so and Naya Binky man say that over there so now it confuse you.
Yeah.
Because maybe I know Rasta you search for if it confuse you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all Christianity you search for. But if you go start to check Jehovah Witness 7 day now and it confuse you, maybe it's not Christianity you search for.
It's neither, yeah.
You know see? So
yeah.
Life is a search, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so life is one big road with a lot of sign.
Yeah.
So you don't make it complicate your mind.
Reason not to give me still for night said we because I say a search said we so even me read it now we a search. Yeah, search.
Yeah man, they're not search man, seek and them find man. You will say, you will me say to you know. You see life, you never hear that saying it, life is one big road with a lot of sign.
Yeah.
So don't make it complicate your mind, man.
Yeah.
Because you can't go through life and still not find where you look for, you know.
True.
Yeah. So some people go through life and don't know what them purpose in life was for.
Yeah.
So I don't say it, man. And we have to move.
Reasoning, I love it.
Yeah, man, we have to move.
Listen to you, you know, because when I give you a reasoning and give you a good talk, we will see say a good reasoning.
All right, sir. Yeah, man, good time. Yeah. Well, after the rock thing we that talk was again a while ago, Steve Marley from his album Old Soul, the original version of that tune, yeah. I want great song, this, you know. Great song. So Ziggy, me like how Steve do it. Yeah, interject the Naya Binky vibes tonight. Original. You know, so him have a slow version too. Yes, Joe Higgs. From Higgs and Wilson fame. Joe Higgs. Time when Bonwell never go on the tour them, Joe Higgs go instead of him, Yell?
Mota.
Yes.
Man, I don't respect, man. Good night, man. Good morning, brother.
Listen, man.
Yes, man. Long time listener. First time call.
Eh?
Yes, man. Years and years now listen, man.
I wonder where Joel to call at the night, yeah?
No, well, we live overseas different, but before I on vacation still, you see.
Oh, you're on vacation?
Yeah, man. I live on vacation, man. Without Miami still.
All right, give thanks, man.
Yeah, man. But long time listener, as me say, the work we do, man, keep me up every single night, every single day upon the road.
Yeah.
The man keep me by listening to the cutting edge.
Yeah.
And that grasp me for years, Muta. because I'm going to say, back then, as a little youth, a lot of things them when you talk about, and when me I think about for a long time, and I talk about for a long, long time.
I never know that somebody else think that way, they don't it.
Exactly. And when we started this 3 months one time, I think in 94, me I listen like I left for America 96. And I listened there from 94 when Sizzler just come out, the black man, white man God.
Yeah.
The first time I listened, I remember I started this there. I said, well, that brother here said the same thing when me I think about for a long time, you know. A long time. But I couldn't really talk out like that differently still.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure, but I see him time.
People don't call you madman. People don't call you madman.
Because certain personally, me not believe it, and me not baptized.
Yeah.
But me I listen to a tape with the eye where the man say, boy, they must say, God, omnipresent, omniscient. Which way me as called the order to see the devil. Me I see the devil omnipresent.
Omniscient, of course.
Omniscient, because everywhere the devil there, and at the same time, at the same thing, at the different everything, at the same time, the devil make this happen, the devil make that happen.
That happen, yeah.
And the devil is that omnipresent.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere. So this God way man talk about and the God everywhere. And you look and see the house of bone down like a baby night, and God just did and I watch and I see everything that go on and I do nothing about it. So it's either him willing and not able, and able and not willing to do it. Which one?
Well, it's like we're going on in Gaza, you know.
Exactly.
The amount of little baby we are dead.
Are dead. And the God up in the sky, I look down and I watch everything.
If you're able to do it and don't do nothing, it's a problem.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we are listening to our next tape with the eye again, because we love go through your tape them days with days and night, brother. Where this burning Herald campaign.
Herald
Jesus will come. And we hear you pray. I said, do God, come in there 200 years. So come like Jesus, I listen to the man prayer, man, because I can't go pray more.
Yeah.
Because you pray, say, boy, God, Jesus, this life is your life. And next life, you know, show about next life.
Yeah.
So, you ask him to come in that 120 years. I don't remember what it is still.
Yeah.
Well, you pray for him because, boy, you know, pray for him to come because black people have a wall to go through.
Oh, and that's what you talk about. Yeah. Me I say, him can't come now and we don't have our fullness yet.
Exactly.
Him can't come here now, trust me. Him have to wait till we have our...
Your prayer work, man.
Yeah, man, him have to wait till we go through all our things and get, you know, and then no, him can't come. But him can't come now, man.
Can't come now.
And everybody enjoy life except black people.
Except black people, brother.
No, sir, him can't come now, Rasta.
And black people pray more
than everybody else.
Anybody else. And we are going to turmoil, brother.
We have the most church per square mile than anybody else.
Yes, man.
So,
I saw me and my uncle them attack and the Sunday gone and they decided to me I raise the voice. I'm sure I don't care who I hear or who I listen to me and say answer me this or me that, but me I tell you right now, me I talk loud part of my voice.
No, me tell you beating for a long time, you know. You can't say it no, because me tell you beating.
So I don't give a hell who I listen to me and say.
But you me say no.
Born Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you know, you me say.
Yes, sir.
Me take the fire for everybody already, you know, so everybody can say what they want to say no. Because if them did say it before me, they would have get the burn. But you see, true, me go say it continuously, me get the burn now, so you don't have to go through it again.
All right, sir.
All right, give time, we have to move.
One love, give time, sir.
Yes.
Pleasant talk to man.
This, well, man, remember, hey, some people, some youth come to me the other day down the church college, you know. And the daughter come and repeat two things. When me say, so where you get them teaching them from? She say, I'm from cutting edge. Me say, it's a weird thing. But the reality, as him said, me I call when me that talk about, it's impossible impossible and would be not good if Jesus go come now. No, sir. Him can't come now, Rasta. Can't come now. And we no full joy ourselves yet. Black people not get the abundance of all that life has to offer. And we're at the bottom for 500 years with a weird down there, so. No, sir. I forgot wait. This is the cutting edge and I refer me take a break and come. All right, sir.
They never go.
Yeah, me know where you talk, man. Before, when they add them, me da play a tune before you call me.
Yeah.
So when